Yo, what's up, guys? You got pokeaim here. Today we're going to be talking about the Sword and Shield tier change for December. This is the one they didn't actually tell us that they were doing, at least not publicly. But they did decide to do another tier shift during the middle of the month. And this is the last one they're going to do until, like, they're going to go back to the normal process, like, every 3 months. So that'd be cool, because obviously it means that we won't be seeing such drastic changes every single time. I mean, this time, look at the PU tier. Look what they got. You have Roserade down there. You have Talonflame. And those are not Pokemon that I would have ever thought would be PU at all. Now with me today I have my buddy Expulso. You can say hi.
Hey guys, I'm Expulso. I've been playing lower tiers a bunch recently. Everything's like shifting around like crazy, but I think they're fun. Should be nice to check them out now that they're settled, and it'll be fun talking about it with AIM.
Yeah. If you guys didn't know, we played in the Smogon Snake Draft together. Him, myself, PDT, Rabia, we all built. We would spend like hours in call and just make some wild stuff. Expulso did not like my teams, but that was the certified this team was going to win that all I needed. Every single time he didn't like my team, I knew that meant I was going to win. So
I was worried. You pulled off some crazy matchups too. Sometimes I was right about that, but sometimes the teams were fire.
Yeah, I mean, we did fight a lot of stuff that we were weak to every single time, so that was a lot of fun. But anyway, yeah, great player, great person, and I'll probably have a video with him, Rabia, and PDT at some point. I wanted to do like 2 weeks ago, but I was really busy, and we'll get into this. So, first off, I'll be giving my thoughts on like, I'll be giving my thoughts on a bunch of these guys, and then he's going to be chiming in for RU, as well. And I have another video as well this week with my buddy Eon X2. So anyway, from UUBL to OU, we have Volcarona and Hawlucha. I think it was just about time that was going to happen. We saw Lucha just fits on every single type of terrain team, right? And you see Finny everywhere. Lele rose back up to OU last time, as it should be. And the cool thing about Lucha is that it has Stone Edge. So with Acrobatics, Close Combat, Stone Edge is actually able to threaten Pokemon like Moltres and Zapdos. So it's good on offense. It's good on some bulky offenses as well. And then Volcarona all around is just a Pokemon that was inevitable that was going to come up. First off, it's a natural check to Pokemon like Pheromosa, resisting all its attacks and potentially burning it with Flame Body. But also, it's not hard to deal with Heatran, and it's I think the bulkier Quiver set is the more scarier one, as it can just come in repeatedly on Pokemon like Rillaboom. So it's Volcarona at the end of the day, so it was eventually going to go out. So we also see from RUBL to UU, and then from RU to UU, Conkeldurr, Grimmsnarl, and Slowking. So Slowking is a big one when it comes to the UU tier. It's a nice check to Salamence, it's a great check to Mamoswine, a good check to Cobalion. And if we actually look at the usage stats for UU, besides Zeraora, it can check a decent chunk of these Pokemon. Nidoqueen, Latias, Scizor depending on the set, Victini depending on the set, of course, Ozzy depending on the set, and just teleport around and do Scald. I think something really cool, you see at number 2 in RU as well. Do you want to talk about it in RU for a little bit, for a sec?
Yeah, it was one of like it was pretty much defined the RU tier. It was crazy, easy to fit on teams, and super useful. They do like the feature sight plus teleport spam. That was super annoying. You use feature sight, you get that up, and then you like teleport into your Zarude or your fighting type. And then when they try to go to something like Weezing Galar, it gets blown back by the feature sight.
Yeah,
can't check you anymore. So that was super annoying. Slowking was also just bulky enough to pretty much take hits from everything and then give you like free momentum into your breaker. There's a lot of things to abuse that in RU, like Heracross, Obstagoon, Conkeldurr before it was banned. So you could just kind of like set up your super powerful breaker and then teleport into it. Didn't have to worry about like how to switch it in and stuff. So it was super easy to like make a bunch of things overpowered.
Yeah.
Check out like more stuff without it gone, because there was like very little reason not to use Slowking.
Yeah, I mean, even when I played as well, I just used it just because it came in. But it's interesting to see like this generation. Wherever there's a Slowbro, wherever there's a Slowking, they're doing the exact same thing, right? They're teleporting, future sighting, and they're just providing for the people. And people start to see that in UU, so that's why we saw that as well. We also see Grimmsnarl moved up. Grimmsnarl typically just dual screens. That's usually the go-to Grimmsnarl set. And when you have giant threats like Blaziken, Como, Azumarill, Salamence, Latias, like all these setup sweepers up here, Grimmsnarl can really just do the job, but at the same time it also can double as a nice little check to Latias and Salamence, and a decent check to Como. But from my experiences, a lot of them were just dual screens. And then Conkeldurr is obviously an insane abuser of dual screens, good on Trick Room too, and just a good overall Pokemon to, let me move this because I keep clicking on this, a good overall Pokemon to just break. Like, granted, a lot of the top 10 Pokemon can deal with Conk, just based on typing alone, but Conk is bulky, especially under screens as well. I know Somalia, I believe, hit top 10 on the ladder, spamming dual screens Regieleki plus Conkeldurr, and it was like sub bulk up Conkeldurr too with Drain Punch and knockoff. So really annoying because you would normally see like a Mach Punch type of thing, but sub bulk up, you're taking advantage of its high HP and its defenses as well. So do you want to talk a little bit about the NU to RU Obstagoon? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Conkeldurr was initially the best like guts abuser and physical breaker in RU, but then after a week we realized like, oh, this thing's pretty stupid and banned it. And then that made room for Obstagoon to rise up. Heracross got more use too. They're just really strong and really good. Like, it only has 95 attack, but when you have like the guts boost,
Facade, yeah, knock as well, yeah.
Yeah, facade, knock, switcheroo, all super useful things. I mean, it's not as easy to build a team around because Zarude is just like the super spammable dark type. That's much easier to get onto a team because you get like U-turn and stuff. But if you can fit Obstagoon, it basically has like no switch-ins pretty much.
Yeah, I mean look at top 10 right now. Like, facade plus knockoff hits everything.
And Diggersby's kind of the same way, where it's like your normal stab pretty much hits like almost everything, and then it can like EQ and U-turn, but it's a bit slower, and then Obstagoon can knock, and it's really good.
Yeah, Obstagoon's bulkier as well, and Diggersby is like you mentioned, slower, which makes a difference as well. I think a big thing too is like Obstagoon gets better with Slowking being good in the tier as well. Like, and the difference between that and plus like Zarude is that Zarude doesn't really deal with Togekiss, even if it's running like something like Rock Slide, whereas Obstagoon's facade with 2 KO, or you'll knock off the heavy duty boots, and all of that goes a long way. So I love that Metagross is number 4. Glad it's back in RU. I loved Metagross at RU, and I'm glad that to see it's good. You see Suicune right here too. I'm still surprised that Xurkitree is like tame in the RU tier, but
yeah, it's on. Like, I don't think it's that amazing.
Yeah.
RU has a couple of like super good electric types. Xurkitree is like, if I use Xurkitree, I'd really only ever use Scarf because Raikou and Thundurus, which are both like crazy to have in RU, they can do like the CM or Nasty Plot a little better. Because this doesn't have Tail Glow anymore. That used to be the thing that made it like really stupid. Because you have like 170 base special attack or whatever, and then you get to +3.
Yeah, they just smack everything.
So you gotta kind of like have a Scarf, and it can sweep really well if you like get rid of their ground type with Energy Ball. But it's manageable. Which is interesting. It's crazy to have it in the tier, but it's not broken somehow.
It's really interesting too, just like some lore. RU last generation had at points Mons like Slowking, Metagross, Registeel, Zygarde 10, and then if you look at NU actually looks more like UU last generation than RU does. So I just like looking at it because Mienshao, Sylveon, Zong ended up moving up, but like Rhyperior, Noivern type of thing. This is crazy. Starmie down here too. So yeah, it's interesting to see. Like I said, even when I used Xurkitree, I did find the Scarf to be the best set, just because being faster than base 80s, Gardevoir, Passimian, and things like that. That was earlier than what it is right now. And then I don't know where Passimian is currently, but yeah, that's wild to me. So, and then we also have from NU to RU, Rhyperior and Umbreon going up. Umbreon being a fantastic wish passer to the tier. I mean, Umbreon plus Slowking work really well together besides the bug weakness. You toss on a Crobat and then a ground type and you're good versus basically everything, right?
Yeah, I haven't actually seen much Umbreon, but it's probably pretty underrated as like a just general sponge to things. Kind of like takes any hit, stops stuff like Zarude from spamming Darkest Lariat and kind of beating everything up. I'm sure NU's gonna miss it because, well, actually I don't know if they banned Poltegeist, but they had like the Teapot Pokemon that was just like shell smash and kind of kill everything with Shadow Ball, and Umbreon was their best check to it. So now that's gone, so it kind of sucks for them.
What about Rhyperior?
Rhyperior is fire in RU. It's awesome. I mean, like the only common grass type is Zarude, and if you hit it with like a Mega Horn on the Switch, you just kind of EQ like the entire tier. It's super strong. It comes in for free in a lot of things like Crobat and Togekiss. So like using Zarude plus Rhyperior is crazy because Zarude brings in stuff like Crobat and Togekiss are 2 of the best checks. and then you U-turn out of them. Zaruge is just like always click and U-turn. And then Rhyperior comes in, gets up rocks, hits something with Stone Edge. You can even use like Choice Band if you want. It's crazy strong, and it's like, it's just a really good Pokemon.
I don't think it'll be RU for long. I think it'll eventually move back up to OU personally. It's still good in OU as well. Checking Volk, checking everything, basically, at this point. With Pheromosa being gone, it's one less check, especially for Shifu. Magearna and Cinderace eventually go too, which I honestly don't doubt that those guys will drop. But yeah, Rhyperior always good. I think the one thing I like about Rhyperior is that its ability to beat its counters is really cool too. You mentioned Mega Horn. I think Swords Dance Mega Horn 3 attacks like kills even like Fizz Def Tangrowth and things like that too. So not that it's being ran right now, but obviously with the solid rock ability too. God, I can't get over this tier. Obviously with the solid rock ability as well. So we saw from moving on to the drops from OU to UU, we have Regieleki. If we actually look at the OU usage stats, even Urshifu, well. Is that showing there? Yep, even though Shifu Rapid Strike just barely missed the cutoff, so that would have been crazy. That would have been auto banned.
That would be sick.
Yeah, in the tier, that'd be crazy. So I think Regieleki is still, just my personal opinion of Regieleki, I think it's still a fantastic Pokemon, and its speed tier and its ability is amazing. And don't sleep on like Swift or... I don't like Hyper Beam. I think Hyper Beam sucks because wasting a turn and then, yeah, you might get the kill, but then you die after, so what's the point? Right. The point is with Regieleki, you want to spam your electric moves or rapid spin around. I think it's a good presence for the UU tier. UU has some really good ground types that can deal with it. Mammo, it has a million resistances as well to the tier. Nidoqueen, another immunity too. But yeah, and I also still think that Trick Ring target is really good at OU as well. When it comes to Pheromosa being banned now, we're going to see a lot of shifts of Latios, Lele probably moving up too. A little bit more as well. I'm sure we'll see Torn. Maybe we'll see Moltres move lower a little bit, but still OU. Things like that. What are you saying?
Oh, Crocodile's another one that's like a ground type switching for it. Other than that, like ground types aren't particularly common, which you'd think would be good for it. But there's zero aura everywhere with Volt Absorb.
Yeah, and then just, Como with natural resistances too.
Yeah, so I feel like it's in a weird position because it's I don't know, its coverage is just so bad. It could be cool on like the right conditions, but
yeah, I used it with Mammo, and the thought process was always double to Mammo whenever you have Regieleki out and get a kill, and then to the point where Regieleki just cleans up. I think that if Pursuit was around, it'd be broken, just period. Like I don't think there's any way to stop that because like the only ground type you couldn't Pursue would be a Powdon, which is OU, right? But the other one, even Crocodile taking that chip from Pursuit lets it get 2 KO'd by Spec Swift, and you're faster. Then Scarf Crocodile is outsped by Regieleki. So
it's crazy, yeah. But then also like the fact that you're using like Swift on your breaker, like Swift, like the new. That's dire, dude.
Yeah, and then plus they're the mind games with it too. Like if they have a ground type at the back, they're not always gonna switch. Like people might just be aggressive versus it, which I found. I think that's misplaying personally because losing certain Pokemon can do it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's it's the play they ended up making. But yeah, I played a few games without my opponent having ground types, and it was a lot easier to play because all you had to do is Swift into Zero Aura once and wall it with your Mons. But yeah.
How strong is this thing? Like I know UU has a Moongus. Can you just like go to a Moongus every time, or is its like signature move strong enough to threaten like big damage?
Not its signature move, but Thunderbolt is stronger. So if it's physically defensive Amoonguss and you're modest or rash or whatever, with the rocks up, I know I was able to,
it's all defensive.
37 to 44, and like I mean you can pressure Amoonguss, and again same thing. Slow King with Future Sight is a big thing as well. I use that with it too. So, like Nidoqueen can't come in, and Crocodile probably being the best to that, and even though Crocodile doesn't always want to come in on a Slow King either because it's Scald. So yeah, just like
Electric spam is probably pretty good there. You run it with something like Zero Aura, so it like close combats the Crocodile or like knocks off the Nidoqueen and be free to kill. I was running double electric in UU like before Regieleki dropped, and now with like that Nukin deck, it could probably be even better.
Was it?
I was running like
Rotom Form plus Zero Aura, or what was it?
Zero Aura plus Thunderous, which had like a cool E tier, hits Amoonguss with Psychic. It was pretty interesting, but I think this will be even better. Could be cool. I think people are like saying it's not going to be that good just because you can't hit grounds, but it'll be neat.
I mean, it's not like you can't just do Trick Ring target with any mod in that tier as well. Like realistically speaking, so besides Zeraora, which may eventually even move back up to OU. Pheromosagon, and if you look at the current OU tier usage stats, there's no way that Magearna, I don't think Magearna is going to stay this generation period. I don't know about Cinderace either, it might, but while there is no hidden power ice and the dragons are back, Garchomp, I call Landorus a dragon, but it's not, but you know what I meant. The good Pokemon are back, right? And much like that, you can also use double electric expand down there with like Coco plus Zeraora, because it worked really well. His Dazzling Gleam does damage, and like Zeraora probably will eventually find its place once again in the OU tier. Now, you want to talk about a little bit about UU to RU, Cobalion, Marowak. I like how we get the little Trick Room core right here, and then we have Volcanion, and yeah. So, you want to talk a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I'll make this a little quicker than Regieleki because we spent so long on that guy. But these are going to be some pretty cool mons in RU. Cobalion is crazy. It's going to be crazy useful here. It's really good for like offenses as a check to Zarude, which people are like really trained to check at the moment. Like if you actually want to be reliable against it, your only options were like Togekiss with defense investment, Sylveon, and Squeezing Galar. Otherwise, you just had to have like a fighting type plus Crobat and like get the 50-50 right. So it was really, really annoying. And now Cobalion kind of just sits on Zarude's stabs and is faster than it. So it's like a really, really good tool for offense. It's also just like a potentially good sweeper without Slowking there.
Yeah.
So
that's the big one. That's the big one I thought I wanted you to mention as well. And like even if Bro ends up moving back up to RU as well. You remember when Slowbro was like the king of RU? For a little bit, not even regular Bro, but I'm talking about Galarian. You remember when Galarian Bro was just like taking over early RU this gen? I like the fact that it's also a pivot and rocker, like what you mentioned. Not only does it come in with the justified,
it'll be really nice for that as like a tool on offense to kind of prevent Zarude from just U-turning and getting momentum on you every time, because you can run like Rocky Helmet and punish that. And then these other guys will all be really cool too. Marowak, Alola is probably the one I like the least because we have Chandelure, and like that requires less like Trick Room support to me. But like Marowak gives you the benefit of not being walled by Snorlax, which is cool.
Yeah,
and Trick Room is actually
yeah.
Like I hate on Trick Room a bunch because I think it's like way too much work to set up, and then you like kill one mon after like 5 turns of setup. But with Stakataka and Marowak, you actually have some major threats under Trick.
I mean, you're not even killing one mon. In this play, you're killing a lot, especially because like you have a lot of support down here too. First off, Bronzong is NU, so you can pull that up too. And like, look at Slowking gone and excusing Suicune, right? Like Slowking gone and excusing Suicune, like you trick them up on so many mons here. You trick them up on Zarude because unless they click close combat, they're not killing you. You trick them up on Crobat. Shuka as well, like with Stack Attack. Stack Attack actually looks really annoying. I think the most annoying mod for Trick Room is Registeel. They're just gonna click Protect a couple times. That's if it's
Protect is annoying for that style, but I mean still like Stack Attack is just a crazy bulky but still strong threat. Like I slept on it having like 133 attack, I think it was, which is like really good for like an offensive
133, 137, whatever, it's close.
Like that, yeah, it's impressive. And there's also the Ice Horse, which has been like I didn't think it was the legendary, like the last 3A, I think. It's cool under Trick Room, so that has a lot of potential. So Marowak, Stakataka, mostly Trick Room, but probably like kind of do whatever. Stakataka was banned last gen. I don't think they're gonna ban it like right now, but maybe it will be
It was broken. It was broken last gen. It was you literally set up Trick Room in one. Like you legitimately said, like I trust me, I played RU a lot. You set up Trick Room and you won. And they couldn't even do, bro. You didn't even have to set up Trick Room sometimes because like when you set up Trick Room, usually it was on Pokemon that couldn't attack you. You could just Earthquake once as like Registeel comes in to wall you, or just click Gyro Ball. You could set. It was basically you were like, okay, I could win right now, but let me weaken them a little bit more before I terrorize them a little bit, and then. Yeah, that was a wild mon. And Volcanion actually seems really cool too.
Cool. Yeah. So people have talked about a bunch of different sets on it. There's like Sub-Toxic, which is a good way to weaken something like, I don't know, like Seismitoad that can be generally annoying for you. There's also just defog sets, making it like a useful utility thing. With Boot, you don't have to worry about Stealth Rock, so that makes defog more useful on it.
Good
there's also
switching.
like if you want to like have some. I don't know. It just seems like just really useful in general. It can do a bunch of different things, so you never really know what it's going to do at preview.
Just click specs, bro. Slowking gone. That's it. Literally, you expect. Slowking is gone. Steam eruptions are gonna do like 30% to Suicune plus burn. So if it's subcom mine,
Yeah.
it can't come in on you. Period.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, I mean these new mods are all gonna be like really good and really cool. So it should be a really fun time. I'm gonna enjoy it. No Slowking.
Yeah, no Slowking makes such a big difference for so many Pokemon too. Like Metagross just gets better as well. Ooh, I love it.
Oh yeah. You can overload the waters with things like that. Plus, who's this new guy? Volcanion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Volcanion plus Stack Attacka. So you weaken the Suicune and then you win with Trick Room. It'll be fun. It'll be really fun.
Or just use Body Press, Stack Attacker 2, just physically defensive,
Yeah.
and just take 1,000,000 from every Pokemon and live like Earthquakes from Pokemon 2. Like, legitimately.
Let me calc. You do like
Calc 1,000 arrows. Calc 1,000 arrows from I'll calc it on screen for them. Let me make this physically defensive Stack Attacker. I gotta see. You defensive. No, not Spadef. Oh, that's the stuff from back in the day when Mega Pidgeot was. Not Mega Pidgeot. Oh yeah, was it Mega Pidgeot? I don't know what it is. You see how much Zygar's doing it. It better still say 130%. This is adamant. That's not adamant. That's not the one I want. Jolly. Okay, this definitely kills. But at +1 it won't. Actually, that's bad.
Yeah.
Bad is a roll.
that's sick. I saw it like people would run like the fighting type berry on it, and it just like,
Yeah, Chopple. Yeah.
being quite weak. So it's a very entertaining thing.
Yeah. That's the one I saw a lot too. Just eat up a fighting hit and just go for gyro and get the kill after they go for the drops. It's really cool. RU to NU, you want to talk a little bit about Tornadus and why it didn't really prosper in the RU tier?
Yeah, I mean this will be quick, but I'm gonna say that every time, and it's not gonna be quick.
It doesn't matter. Who
It-
cares?
Stuff like Slowking is just good at sitting in front of you until you get up your like nasty plot. There's plenty of stuff that threatens out Tornadus, like the electrics in the tier. I mentioned there have been 3 good ones. And you just are kind of slower than a lot of the other offensive mons that just never really got momentum. You also don't really have like many valuable resistances. Like the only resist you have is fighting, and fighting types aren't like, well actually yeah, no, you have a few more, but like everything kind of has a way to hit you, and you're not like immediately threatening Okos. It's just hard to fit on a team and not quite worth it, though it's probably like decent, honestly. Like it probably isn't terrible, but it's just a lot of work to make happen. Especially if like your flying type doesn't have recovery, like Zarude's gonna be more of a pain for you than if you had like a Togekiss or a Crobat. So it's just difficult to make work.
Had they banned Drizzle as well at that point, right? Or was I thinking about something else?
Drizzle's legal in RU.
Still legal? Okay.
Still legal.
I remember fighting it, and I just remember I had Scarf Xurkitree, and I was like, holy crap, this is so easy, because I had Xurkitree plus Slowking. So all I do is I go Slowking, I click Teleport, and then whatever they bring out that could threaten it, I just click Thunderbolt on. So it's Slowking obviously dealing with Kingdra as well. So that's interesting that this ended up falling all the way down. Did NU ban Rain? Or what am I thinking about?
You might have. Actually, let me check.
Because I remember reading something from PU yesterday, which makes a difference. I think that let me read up. It was something like something was banned, but one of the weathers was not banned. From what I remember, I know hail isn't banned. I like how PU.
Oh yeah, I think they banned Sun because they had Ninetales.
Yeah.
But they didn't have Politoed before. Like it was an RU, so they didn't ban Rain. But now that they have Politoed, they're probably gonna vote on Rain soon. Like Politoed and Tornadus are gonna make Rain crazy in NU for however long it's allowed.
I think that what's it called too is really good as well. The hold up, Drought. Okay, apparently NU rebanned Drought. Yes.
Yeah.
Either Drought or Drizzle are legit. Or no, Drought or Drizzle are not legal. Drizzle will not be unbanned.
Oh.
They decided not to unban it. Period. Okay, so I mean that makes sense. Politoed is gonna stay down there in ZU. That's it. It's gonna unless PU becomes. Let's look at the old PU real quick, just to look at it. This is the old PU. Jolteon, Sandaconda, Togedemaru, Cinccino, Poliwrath, Hitmonchan, Rotom, Qwilfish, Turtonator, Drampa. Besides Drampa, which was banned from NU when we were playing, which is crazy to think that it's PU. Besides Drampa, if you look at the current tier, there's a level difference, I think, between like Machamp and Jolteon. You know what I mean? Like in terms of that,
dude.
it just leveled up a lot.
if I pull up with one of my old meta PU teams, I'm gonna lose in like 10 turns.
Yeah.
How it went up so much. It's ridiculous. I had like, I don't know, I had like Poliwrath and like Mr. Mime and like Golbat on teams.
Yeah, go
Now
and get
those are
Exploud.
Golbat's probably
Go ahead and get Indeedee. Like,
yeah.
the fact that Indeedee is down here when both of them got banned from their respective tiers before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not actually sure Indeedee's gonna stay, because the thing is, Indeedee male, which is like stronger and faster, was legal on NU for like a week, and so that gave you no reason to use the female form that's like weaker and less of a good breaker. But it actually might stay. Like some of these really surprised me, like Sigilyph.
Sigilyph was another mon that we were thinking about. Like, did we ban from NU or a point where we're talking about banning it?
When I was playing during the Snake Tour, it was banned from RU.
I remember.
Like, legal in PU, which is crazy. I don't know how NU didn't keep it, because Calm Mindsets are so good there.
Look at Rabambi Duraludon. Duraludon was talking about being banned when we were playing too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's so many big offensive threats here. PU looks crazy, especially because things that say they're in PUBL right above that, the things that say they're in PUBL, they freed PUBL, so those guys are legal.
Yeah, but I mean, these guys aren't as crazy as well.
Yeah, the drop legally are actually crazier. Which is fun.
Yeah. I like how Thwacky's here. Get out of here, Thwacky.
So long.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, going back on, Ditto is whatever. That just means you can use it everywhere. That's great. That's always. I think Ditto should always, by force, be in the lowest tier. I'm gonna be honest, because I think that Ditto is such a good. It's not a Pokemon, but it's always relative. It's always relative to the metagame itself. So if offense is good, it's gonna be OU. You know, and during the Dynamax metagame, Ditto was like number 1, number 2, or like top 5 in usage, just because of how good it was anti Dynamax. So I feel like it's. I think Ditto should like be its own standalone thing. That's my own personal thing, because I think it just makes any offense better. RU to ZU, we already saw. Drizzle bans, so it's gonna stay down here. Let's talk about NU to PUBL real quick. I'm just going to say the big one that stands out to me, Arctivish, because both... Yeah, because both Abomasnow as well as Vanillix are down. Vanillix being down in PU is so disrespectful. But both of them are down here, so that's a big one that comes to mind. And if you want, you can take over some of these as well. Were any of these using NU at a point? I remember Scyther and Golurk.
Let me see. Well, like right NU, I'm seeing like Golurk is being used. I'm in like a side NU tour, and like a bunch of my teammates use Golurk because it's like kind of has no switch-ins. Yeah, it's just crazy good. Let's see, Golurk's really good. I'm surprised that dropped. Yeah. What else? Let me look over these like 10,000 Pokemon. Vileplume is good. It's just like really useful as a defensive mon in NU. It'll be pretty useful here too for stuff like Virizion.
Okay.
Sigilyph, I'm surprised that dropped. That's crazy. And they're actually like, one other cool thing is like there weren't that many dark resists being used in NU, so like SD Shiftry won a bunch of games. Like I remember losing to that. Now they have Virizion, so it might not be as good here, but it's like a cool pick, I guess.
Oh, just a neutral SD Shiftry you're talking about, like not Sun, not anything, just like SD.
Yeah, like Sucker Punch was like really good at a point. Let me see what else is here. Roserade. Roserade's gonna be really good.
I think the Spike support is nice. Sludge Bomb. It loses its Technician hidden powers, but it can always Weather Ball as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and Sleep is just super annoying. Surfetched is gonna be crazy. You have like Scrappy, Close Combat.
I mean, I think Guts Machamp can do it just as well.
What's it?
Guts Machamp. Like.
Oh yeah, well, that one's slower, so like. You always prefer like the faster ones initially, but if they ban Surfetched, I bet Machamp is like next up because it's amazing. Scrappy and Guts are both great abilities. They'll both be really good. Yeah. Talonflame is like it's a cool utility Pokemon. Like in Gen 6, it used to be
amazing.
Key, and it kind of was. It could do like those cool natural gift things. It doesn't have those now. But here it's going to be like faster than everything in the tier. Heavy duty boots on a fire flying Pokemon's always going to be good, and kind of U-turn over everything, coming in and out a bunch. You check stuff like Virizion, which is really tough to check. Yeah, and then let's see what else there is here. There's Indeedee. Indeedee's probably the last of like the huge threats here, though everything here is good if you use it. Like Indeedee's expanding force. That's just super hard to switch into if you're not a dark type. So you could probably gotta like fit one on every team. And you had like Cresselia too, which is something that walls it.
Yeah.
Here they don't.
I think that one thing is like, look how good offense is going to be, because you could just put on your Scarf and DD, you could put on a Trick Room and Alolan Executor, you know,
Just pick
a
6 of
band. Yeah, you literally pick 6 of these Pokemon. Do you have Rabambi? Put Rabambi on, get your webs up, and then just start hitting them. And then you even have like good defensive pivots, like Manual Sun. I don't know if I know before they banned Manual Sun, like they banned like what is it, Prankster plus they banned the Heat Rock. They banned Heat Rock. I remember because I remember the specific Pokemon, Onyx and Liepard. That's really funny to think about, by the way. Onyx and Liepard. If you look at what they have, Onyx and Liepard were like too good with it. So, and Sun was just overpowered. But then like you have like, I don't know if Manual Rain, if Damp Rock is banned, but Kingdra and Kabutops. I think lower tier Rain is always scary. I legitimately think lower tier Rain is always scary. You have Amistar right there, which has Meteor Beam too. I mean, you have natural weather counters, like Vanillix is going to be a good natural counter to that, because Max Speed is going to be faster than like Modest Kingdra and things like that too. You have the fighting types, so all the Unburdened mons plus Indeedee is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, Indeedee plus like Psychic Seed Hitmonlee was a thing that was good in RU for a while. It'll probably be good here too. Oh, speaking of ridiculous strategies, there's Raichu Alola, and they haven't banned that plus Pincurchin, so you can do the electric terrain,
the rising voltage, yeah.
Speed, and then just like kills every Pokemon in the tier. It's very good.
You have good like offense lead too, like Archeops for instance, with like Focus Sash lead, Stealth Rock, Endeavor type of stuff. Again, good hail users as well, like not even just Aurora Veil, but like orders like this, but like Alolan Sandslash is okay. Simeon as a Scarfer isn't bad, decent speed tier. Charizard being down here is crazy to me. Like, you know, that Mo was like that Mo was like top 10 RU not too long ago.
It was, yeah, we had less available then. Now I wonder like which of Charizard and Talonflame will be better. I mean, Charizard kind of hits harder with Hurricane, but Talonflame being faster than Virizion is like really convenient. Also faster than like Sceptile. Actually, that's probably not relevant unless it's like
Rock
getting
Slide or anything like that, or Burden itself.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be crazy to try all these out. Actually, should be really fun.
It's really weird. Like I feel like your team building is hit or miss right now, right? Like you cannot cover everything, but you specifically can't cover everything because there's way too many threats. It's just.
Yeah, I wonder what they're gonna decide to ban, because obviously, like, you can't just ban every Pokemon.
Yeah.
But they'd all be like pretty broken if they dropped like on their own.
To be fair, though, I read on that post we're unbanning all 31 PUBO or something like that.
Yeah.
So
they did unban all those guys. So it's like, now do they have to like, how many of these new ones are gonna be like ban worthy? Like they all seem, all the offensive ones, like I don't know, like Virizion, Sirfetch'd, Machamp, Raichu Alola, Exeggutor Alola. What else have we talked about? Like all the rain, all the other weathers, all the Unburden, Indeedee. It's crazy.
Even Heliolisk too. Like looking at it being able to abuse everything, having a fantastic speed tier, Weather Ball as well, Surf, Thunderbolt, like Hyper Voice type of thing. Like that seems really nice too. I think what we're gonna end up seeing is, we noticed how look at what UU became, right? Like we thought a lot of these mons would probably be gone. No, look at what UU became and adapted to the power, right?
Yeah, they like balance each other. Like none of the Blazikins get respected right now, but the rest are like, it's a fairly balanced.
Yeah, RU balance itself. NU, which looks insane, but it basically balanced itself to, like I said, last generation UU. But it is what it is, right? It balances itself out, and now I think we're gonna finally see PU not look like this, right? Top 10 is gonna be like Indeedee, Machamp, whatever, Charizard, Alolan Raichu before he gets banned. Like I think they'll ban the 100% ridiculous mons. Like I don't see how you beat Alolan Raichu plus Pincurchin, period, right? That's just, there's not a lot of counterplay to that, period. Like the fact that you have to use Pincurchin sucks, but it's not even that bad. It's a good support mon. But I do think like those things are going to be outright banned. But I think we're just going to see a metagame where people just adjust. Like you probably see Xplot up here with like Gigalith, because Gigalith is good anti-weather besides rain. Like it's really good anti-weather. Xatu most likely being up there for fighters. I think that Regigigas also has some good support, which is pretty cool. Like I saw my friend Eve post Rest Talk, so that was really, I think Rest Talk Power Up Punch knockoff is pretty cool. Just good
It'd be
support.
fun if that worked. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like we're focusing all on the offensive threats, but I think that what you're saying is true because looking at it, like you could put some pretty decent defensive cores together. Like
Vaporeon walls like a bunch of mods.
Vileplume, like your Defog Charizard. I don't know. I mean, that sounds like pretty sturdy. You throw in like a Soul Valley Steel or something.
Toss
I
out
don't
your
know,
Scarf
maybe
or
you-
Breaker. Yeah.
Yeah, you throw on like Palosands to help handle Machamp, and then suddenly it's like, okay, maybe like somehow like balance is viable. It'll be cool to see like how much higher the power is, because I always find those tiers fun. If it's like offense isn't busted, but you have a ton of like powerful threats, you gotta like play carefully around. It's a fun meta. Hopefully it'll be like that.
I think we'll see some of. I actually like even thinking about it, like look at SD Absol. Sucker Punch is really good. Close Combat's really good. Knockoff is really strong too. Absol might be a legitimate like Mon that puts in somewhere. I mean, it got banned before, but like it might be a legitimate thing. Like even like Vikavolt, both defensively and offensively, good resistances, heavy duty boots, but the fact,
Yeah, probably.
yeah, and then Golurk obviously.
Yeah, like I was talking about. Oh yeah, Golurk's a crazy one. And yeah, I was talking about like Zarude being so good in RU because not much is switching into like its darkest layer yet, and like Shiftry with SD, it was like viable in NU before. It's like, yeah, Shiftry and Absol will be great here because if you don't have a fighting type, there's not many fairies left here, so you kind of just like lose. Or you have to fit like a Aromatisse in your team,
Yeah.
which can be kind of awkward.
Speaking
It's
of,
just,
yeah, I really think Aromatisse is too weak, too weak and too weak defensively to check the Mons it has to check here. Personally, right? If Gallade was the only fighter, maybe, right? But you're not only dealing with Gallade, but you're dealing with Mons on the special side that are crazy. They're actually paired next to each other, right? You have Alolan Eggy plus X-Cloud plus Kingdra plus Indeedee, right? And then Jelly down here too. Like, there's so much stuff. You know what low-key looks like a fantastic threat? Dragon Dance Scrafty.
yeah, when it stabilizes and you no longer have like the absolute craziest stuff, it will be good. It was really good in the end of like Snake RU. It was just sweeping a bunch of teams because like Sylve Fairy was the only really viable fairy, and like you're not gonna put that on every single team you build.
We tried with Somali Steel.
Stuff like Scarf Passimian that checks you, it's like they can't switch into your knockoff, or
Yeah.
then you're faster than them after you Dragon Dance next time.
Exactly. So like I mean,
That'll be good.
Yeah, if you had to pick out some like Pokemon that obviously stand out, right? Like, it's really easy to say, oh, like Duraludon has like no switch-ins. Oh, Machamp doesn't have a switch-in. Oh, Rain with Kingdra looks crazy. Oh, Indeedee is insane. But like the little Mons in the middle, and well, let's look at. Is there a way to? Too bad I can't look at the PU tier before I did that, because like look at these guys. Look at Carvik. What you doing here, Carvik? What you doing here, Carvik? Yeah, like Butterfree. What are you doing here? But I think
Butterfree ban list too. They got rid of Butterfree. Now I think they're not going to ban it again.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. You know what I think is really, cool, and I touched on it before, but the fact that Ditto is now PU, I think makes a huge difference in terms of dealing with everything. Like, go ahead and Nasty Flower Raichu so I can copy you and then win. I think Ditto would be really good. I think Ditto would be really strong in offense.
Yeah, that's what it was like when we just got all the big RU threats. That was stuff is banned or gone now, like Kyurem, Terrakion, Lycanroc, the strong form. Those were all in RU, and so people were using Ditto a lot, where it's like you can't just like slap the 6 strongest Pokemon and win, because then the opponent's going to copy you. So you have to be like more creative with how you build offense, which is always good. You can't just like be lazy and throw on the best Pokemon and instantly win.
I'm sure we'll see like Focus Sash Sigilyph occasionally as well.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, or like Dazzling Gleam for like Scrafty and things like that. Tauros is another one we kind of slept on. Good speed tier, great moves, like hits everything super effectively, basically. So I think that's another one we kind of just slept. And like again,
cool.
Defensively, it's gonna be, they have the tools, like you said. Vaporeon is a really good defensive tool. Like, and it managed to stay up in RU and check some of these threats up there. So. And then obviously Gigalith and things like that as well. So it's really interesting to see.
Yeah, what'll be cool is like after the most obviously like stupid things are banned from PU, like discovering like which of these discovering like the less obviously broken threats that are still like super good.
Yeah.
Could be maybe like Swords Dance Toxicroak. Like I could see that being something that's really good.
That's something we banned from NU. So
faster stuff like Charizard, and you can just kind of like beat a lot of the fighting resists with your like poison stab, so they can't use like So Fairy switch into you.
Oh,
I don't know, but cool. Got new stuff like that.
Yeah.
Once ever the worst things are gone.
I agree. I can't wait to use Roserade as well. I think it's a big threat regardless. Like, I would use Roserade on Sin and just use Weather Ball as well. Just like Weather Ball, Spikes, Giga Drain, Sludge Mountain type of thing. So, I mean, the thing about Roserade is like, yeah, sure, your Steel type will wall it, quote unquote, but like your Giga Drain is still doing decent chunks like every single time. Roserade is not a weak Pokemon.
Yeah. And it's like if you have a Steel type, your opponent's Roserade is not like useless at all. Like, cause it can again like set up spikes and wear you down. Plus, it can put you to sleep. So like I've gone to games with like Slowbro Galar with like even like an Assault Vest, which should totally wall it because you resist both stabs. But then you're worried about it like falling asleep because it needs to check other stuff.
Then
so
you're
it's
taking
like
spikes as well as you're coming in. Yeah, big thing.
Like a free spike, yeah.
Then just another thing from I guess Combuskin is P. It can be PU by ZUBL, but from PU to ZU, some things that I noticed while I was playing. I really like Spiritomb. Bandit Poltergeist was really strong. Drifloon was pretty cool too. Lurantis has a really nice time in ZU as well. If we look at the stats, like just look at Leaf Storm and Sewer Power, it's really strong.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm surprised they're not doing this again. By the way, that way ZU doesn't get like this crazy hit of tears. Like imagine Exploud and ZU.
Probably, yeah, it's pretty possible. I don't know. I mean, one thing that's interesting is because like the new way they're doing it in Generation 8, I don't really know all the details, but it's like the power is like getting in lower tiers, like stuff that's in NU would have been UU before.
Yep.
I wonder like ZU is like not an official tier. It like barely has a ladder. I think it's not like supported in like official tournaments. I'm pretty sure, but it's like now they're gonna look like an official tier. So I wonder because like there's so few mods in each tier that ZU stuff is gonna be like last gen's NU or something. So I wonder if they'll start making it like official or if it's gonna like look more legit because that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean I'm all with. Sorry about that freaking phone. I'm all with the like that increase. I think again it's just shock for somebody who's been playing for years, right? To see these things fall down, but I think it's okay to adapt. I think it is a little bit annoying that every freaking 2 weeks I gotta play a new metagame. It's a little bit annoying if you're trying to learn it competitively. Like, I mean, look at Snake, like what we just played. We had a new meta basically every other week, which was it was fun to decipher, but it was annoying in a sense that we didn't really have the right ways to test out things or do that stuff. But I also think being stable is sometimes boring. Look at Isle of Armor OU. So I'm all up for shaking up this type of thing and enjoying it. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to trying them all out. Now that they like should be pretty stable, it'll be really fun to see how they all work. Figure out my favorites, stuff like that. Gonna enjoy it. Yeah, and thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it, Dane. Talk about fun like playing it in the future and stuff like that. Should be a good time.
Yeah. So guys, if you enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. Also, if you want to pick up some G Fuel, it's 30% off using code AIM this weekend. You can support me by picking that up. And if you don't want the caffeinated product, which of course it is a caffeinated product, so of course be aware of what you're putting into your body. Don't get it if you're a kid. They do have the hydration formula, which has no caffeine, no sugar, no calories. It's really good. I like the strawberry lemonade. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.